Hey, this is a sneak peek of the next chapter of the Erasing Shame podcast. I'm your co-host, DJ Chuang, and I haven't found a new co-host yet, but I did want to check in with our co-hosts from season 5, George Xiong and Hannah Lee Sandoval. Thank you for joining me today.
Glad to be back.
I kind of combined the word today and tonight. Said tonight. we have a few minutes to check in with each other and with our viewing and listening audience to make a sneak peek reveal at the next chapter for Erasing Shame. And so I wanted to share it with you at the same time as we should share it with the public. And we're just going to take about 10 or 15 minutes to do this sneak peek. So I've been in some conversations with a handful of people over the past month. So things are happening very fast and we don't have everything in place yet, but there's some urgency because mental health is a crisis. Mm-hmm. It's been aggravated by the pandemic and the anti-Asian hate matters and all kinds of other factors. And so I felt compelled to get the ball rolling, even though we don't have all the logistics and organizational pieces in place. And here's the thing. So the next chapter of Erasing Shame podcast will be encouraging Christian Asian mental health. That's the theme, and that's what we're gonna spend our time focusing upon because it's something that we feel would be strategic and worthwhile and meaningful and brings together all the life experiences that I've had. So that's where we are heading. We're looking to launch in September. And because September is National Suicide Prevention Month, and that's very much a mental health related matter. And October is Clergy Appreciation Month. And since we're talking about Christian Asian mental health, we want to be talking about those who are on that brink of having suicidal ideation, as well as to pastors. And then come November and December, hey, family holidays, and we all have family drama. We want to speak into mental health during those holiday seasons as well. So thus the urgency for getting this new chapter started, even though I don't yet have the organizational nuts and bolts in place, and the sound engineer and the social media team and others to help with this podcast and the organization that this will be a part of. So we're looking at having this be a nonprofit initiative. And so some funding will help us to do more and reach more than just what I can do on a grassroots basis. And I'm a little bit sad to report that during the past 9 months, since September, we actually set up a nonprofit initiative through a fiscal sponsor called Pledges. And we had a donation button and a little bit of a donation rally to support Erasing Shame. And nothing came in.
We gotta work on our marketing.
Yeah, so I'm not very good at asking for money, and it does take a little more money to raise money, perhaps.
Sure.
But our listenership number has held on since we ended season 5, so people are still getting word of Erasing Shame.
Yeah,
it's helping them to raise the awareness and the importance of learning how to talk about the elephant in the room. And there are, and another reason that I wanted to zoom in on Christian Asian mental health is there's a lot of good conversations out there about Asian American mental health happening. So more than a dozen. I just started compiling a list. So I've got more than a dozen. It's like 20 or 30 of them, and I'll share that list in the inaugural episode that will be in the following week from this sneak peek episode, and share that with others so that people are welcome to join those conversations and get the resources and the encouragement that they need from wherever they are in this journey called life. and we want to open up the conversation for Christian Asian mental health in September, starting in September. And so that's the big news, and wanted my co-hosts to be the first to hear about it, along with our audience, before we put any of that marketing or announcing efforts out there for inviting more people along this journey.
Thanks.
What do you think?
This is really exciting. I'm super bummed to hear that we didn't get any money coming in. So if anybody out there is a marketing expert or knows how to do that side of things, please teach us and reach out. Gosh, DJ, should we do oh, you wrote a book, DJ. You are an author. If people didn't know, DJ is a published author. Maybe we need to do like a book signing / meet the podcast founder event or something. We could.
I'll definitely roll that in with our in-person events. So that's on the roadmap.
That would be cool.
I've got a dear friend named Jeff Lee, and he is going to help with the fundraising for Christian Asian mental health.
Oh, nice.
So God did already provide a person to help us with that fundraising part, because just amongst ourselves and what we've done, it didn't quote unquote move the needle. And we appreciate our audience. Please continue listening and subscribing, but we also need some who have the capacity and the generosity to support, so that we can grow our efforts. And we think, we want to build relationship with churches, because the issue of mental health has to go beyond a conversation on a podcast. But I think it can start here.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I love podcasts, it's a quick way to produce content.
Yeah.
Because movies and conferences, that just takes so much time and energy to do those things. And there's a place for those, and there's other people doing that. So go ahead. But to create this conversation that can be a conversation starter, so that churches can become compassionate, caring, safe places for those who struggle. So that's how we're aiming to do that church engagement. And furthermore, on the roadmap is as churches themselves learn how to talk about it. So it moves from the podcast to the church, the conversations that we need to have, because shame is a silent killer. People are needlessly struggling, and we know they're struggling because the numbers tell us 20-25% easily across the board. And then both of you are psychologists, so you know people are struggling inside and outside the church. And then the third phase is, as churches learn to talk about it, they can actually do something about it. Which is to host peer-based support groups. And that's something that professionals could do, but it supplements what the professional healthcare workers do, because people need support beyond their occasional meetings with psychologists that are really hard to access in many of our. So that's
an hour a week isn't enough to bring the healing that the people need. And so if we can create these communities that make it safe and can bring about more healing, more opportunity to talk about the issues that we're struggling with, that's ideal. So this is really, really thrilling to hear about, and super excited, DJ, for this next chapter, and where you're focusing in on this specific area, because I think it's true. It's very difficult to, when I was in private practice, getting into churches to talk about mental health. And I think I was in private practice for about 2.5 years, and maybe only got invited to 3 churches, 4 churches.
Hey, we're gonna help you. We're gonna promote you, George.
Yeah, and so
seriously, as we talk about encouraging Christian Asian mental health, we are going to spotlight the people that are already doing good work. So we want to platform and raise awareness for everything that's happening around the country, everything around the diversity of Asian Americans. And even the diversity of churches.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of challenging, but we feel compelled to realize that the dignity of life is more important than the doctrinal convictions that specific local churches need and should foster.
Right.
But at the same time, we need to love our neighbors and meet them where they're at.
Yeah. Well, this sounds like a huge catalyst, and I'm excited to see this momentum build up. And if you're listening out there, stay tuned, and hopefully you can get your church leaders on this as well, and make sure that they're tuning in, so that these conversations can not just be heard by members within the church, but by the leaders who can then start thinking about what does it look like to provide these spaces in your communities.
Yes, that's right.
I'm so excited. I mean, I'm just back from maternity leave like 2 months ago. I feel like I'm plugging back into the world slowly. But, you know, Erasing Shame, you've provided a platform for voices that are often not heard in a public forum. So thank you for doing that, DJ, and just creating space for people, and so many good resources. If y'all don't know, DJ, when I talk about you, I say that you're the Asian American Christian godfather on the internet, because you're one of the first people to create like the blog role and just compile all things Asian American Christian online. So you're really just like one of the digital founding fathers for Asian American Christians online. So I'm just so glad to see this continuing. And if any of y'all make 6 figures, you know, make a tax deductible donation to Erasing Shame, you can go to erasingshame.com. Was it org? .com, right? Yes, and djchuang.com.
Yes.
There's so many good resources. It's a treasure trove in there.
Yeah. And to follow up on that, one of the things I think, this is my working assumption, is that I and many other mental health organizations and podcasts are sharing a lot of resources. And when I go to conferences and seminars, they say, oh, there's so many resources. And that's true. But my hunch is that people don't know what to do with those resources. So it's like you dump a 10,000 piece Lego set onto someone's desk and say, here's tons of Legos, have fun with it, or you know, build what you need. And they a lot of people don't know what to do. And so as a part of how we dream, so this is a very ambitious dream, it's kind of a God-sized dream, that we would find volunteers and people to come along to serve as tour guides and concierge and provide that hand-holding service on, well, how do you find a good counselor or one the pastor trusts and vets, and how do you host a support group, and how do you access those resources? There's a human touch to the list of resources, or just a few, and train the trainer kind of thing, and help people to access those. And then once someone learns, and they can teach someone else how to access those too. So that's why the community piece is really important, in addition to the conversation piece. And then the other part that's really strategic about churches are the only place that gather Asian Americans on a weekly basis.
Wow.
So as many good things that are happening in Asian American websites and social media and podcasts, it's really hard to reach Asian Americans as a broad audience. We don't really have a media channel. I mean, there's been efforts in the past, like A Magazine and some other media channels, but it's a really hard demographic to zone in on. And my hope is, through my work with Asian American churches over the past 20 years, just with a lot of networking and building social equity, that people will be receptive to taking some baby steps of faith to say, this is an urgent crisis and we have to do something. Let's do something together.
Absolutely. That's so exciting. And I'm just thankful I get to be the first person to hear about it. So
you and Hannah both. So it's a tie. Yeah. Well, we're going to wrap up the sneak peek here. I'll come back next week and we will do the official first episode of the new chapter for Erasing Shame, where we will be encouraging Christian Asian mental health.
Is that season 6?
It will be season 6. I'm not sure I'm going to use the number. I'm just going to say it's a new season because we have a new focus overall. Mm-hmm. And so I'm still playing with the word crafting, but great question. I might go with season 6. I might just skip to season 7 the way Apple does with their numbering system, because 7 is a Christian number.
It's a lucky number.
Yes. Or I might just skip to 8 and be an Asian number.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you, DJ.
Okay. Thank you, Hannah. Great seeing you. Thank you, George.
Bye.
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 Thank you for listening to this episode of the Erasing Shame podcast. Check out our website at erasingshame.com. We would love to hear your comments and questions. Please subscribe on any podcast app like Apple, Google, Spotify, or on Facebook and YouTube. And please add a rating, a review, and a share so more people can experience the freedom and healing that comes from erasing shame.